are we doing today?
Fantastic.
I love it. It's been a good day.
Good. It actually has been. Like, today's been wonderful.
Oh, I know. I felt so, maybe not the most productive because that was yesterday for me. But, I don't know. After a productive day, I'm like, time for a nap.
You can't have 2 productive days in a row.
No.
Why strain yourself?
And it's the weekend, so
yeah.
Gotta enjoy that break.
Oh, yeah. What are we talking about today?
Yeah, our love languages, but way more in depth by going into different categories of it.
Typically, love languages are thought of in a romantic sense, but we also wanted to talk about our love languages when it comes to the relationship we have with ourselves and platonic relationships with friends and family.
I love having those types of rankings because they really do differ.
Yeah.
And then all of them then have its own definition.
And just a quick description about love languages in case you aren't familiar with them. In 1992, an author named Gary Chapman wrote The 5 Love Languages, How to Express Heartfelt Commitment to Your Mate.
Oh,
Your mate. That's cute.
You're my mate.
You're my mate too.
I'm a mate.
Anyone can be your mate. Love languages are about understanding how people express, receive, and show their love. The 5 love languages include words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts. There is a quiz you can take online to see how your love languages rank, or you can just put them in order on your own if you don't want to take a quiz.
I think that's what I did. I put them all in my own for, again, the 2 categories that we added for ourselves, ranking it for ourselves and with friends. But I actually took the romantic one.
Yeah, I think that's what I did too.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate of how I feel.
Great. Yeah, Gary was onto something.
He knew some things.
Yeah, so this is all for fun. This is nothing that we live by, but we do think it's a fun topic just to talk about. And you, of course, don't need to know about love languages in order to have successful relationships or anything like that. But we find the concept interesting and we wanted to discuss our own perspectives.
Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so with my love languages with myself, the number 1 for me is words of affirmation. And then second would be quality time. Third, acts of service. So those are my top 3. And then I guess the honorable mentions, the bottom 2, would be receiving gifts and then physical touch. So with words of affirmation, I really thought of this as, being my own hype man. And we kind of touched on this on last week's episode with, how we date ourselves. And this now is kind of more formal practices that I've developed, especially this past year, where I really, really got into it and really understood the importance of being my own hype man.
I
do. You taught me. You really led me down that path. I'm forever grateful. So a couple of things that I think of when it comes to being my own hype man and, always having those words of affirmation quite literally on a loop. I meditate, I affirm in my manifestations or goals that I want to achieve, and that never wavers because I just truly believe I can accomplish it, and I just try to act like I've already accomplished it, and it feels really good. Also, looking in the mirror and instead of noticing what I would like to be different physically, I guess, or even internally, I affirm in that I'm already feeling myself, knowing that those changes will come, but no need to dwell that they aren't here yet. And that's honestly so more related to my health journey of I did the, gain the weight in quarantine journey.
Yeah.
Drank, ate. And that wasn't good, especially with what it represented, especially since weight and health is such a personal journey for me. So with that, I'm just very patient and very, very kind to myself when it comes to being on that journey when I want to exercise, and with what I eat, how much I eat, it's never a strain anymore, especially since I've started all this meditating and not dwelling. Also, too, taking compliments from others and then repeating them to myself. So if I hadn't already thought of it and I get a new one, I write it down and then, tap into that confidence. But especially from when I get those specific compliments from people that I haven't thought of myself, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to embody her.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I was exuding that energy or that vibe, I guess. And to get that just kind of right back to me without even thinking of it, it's a nice little mental of okay, you can accomplish that.
My top 3 for my love languages with myself are also words of affirmation, quality time, and acts of service. Words of affirmation and quality time are almost neck and neck for me, but words of affirmation is something I can practice all the time. I'm not always having quality time just by myself, or I could be out and about, not being able to have that time at all times throughout the day,
Right.
but I can always communicate with myself whether I'm alone or out and about. So words of affirmation, I define this as the communication I'm having with myself and how I check in on me. So how am I really doing? Am I comfortable? Do I need anything? Do I need to take a break? What can I do to help myself right now? Wherever I am, whoever I'm with, I can always do a little check-in and make sure that I'm feeling good in that moment. Words of affirmation also include speaking kindly to myself. So whatever I'm feeling, I validate those thoughts and those feelings and respond to them and act on them in a loving way. We don't ignore thoughts. We don't ignore feelings.
Nope.
We validate them all and go from there. Like you said, it's like being a mental hype person for yourself. I'm always there to boost myself with positivity and confidence if I need it.
No, I could see the parallels of ours. I definitely don't do like the check-in of like, how am I doing? Are we comfortable? But I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Because I think in my head, I'm always just very certain of like, I am this.
Mm-hmm.
I never have to like question it.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that work? What goes through your head?
Like if I'm out doing errands, let's say I have a long list of errands to do, I'll do check-ins like going, I've gotten gas, I've gotten groceries.
Mm-hmm.
Am I tired? Would I really like to just go home?
Mm-hmm.
Do I feel like I want to complete the whole list today? Can I move some things to another day? Am I tired? Would I like to relax right now? If so, I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
I guess that's an example of like check-ins throughout the day of like, what do I need right now? Do I need to go home? Am I good to keep doing what I'm doing today? Or if I'm at a gathering or something, checking in, like, how we doing? Do we need to take a moment and like go to the bathroom for a minute and like just have some 5 minutes of alone time kind of thing, just to like stretch and be on my phone for a second by myself, like reboot and then come back out to the group.
Yeah.
Check-ins like that, just like in any kind of way. Am I good? Am I comfortable? Do I feel safe in this environment? Like,
Yep.
Am I feeling weird energy? Like, let me remove myself.
Totally.
Yeah, and then when I'm by myself, I think it's even easier to do that, because if I'm just in my own space, everything I probably need is like right here.
Yep.
So it's very easy for me to like, do I need a nap? Do I need a stretch break? Do I need a snack? Like, I'm like my little nanny.
I love that.
Yeah.
Cool. So our next one is quality time. Quality time for me, it could be 5 minutes in a day depending on my schedule, or a whole evening. I'm not really attached to the amount of time spent. At the moment, I do get a decent amount of quality time with myself due to my schedule and just also being more extroverted. I find that alone time is something I don't necessarily like need a ton of, just in terms of, again, how much time that may be. I know that will probably change when my schedule starts to get a bit busier or just more varied in terms of when I start and end my day. But I, of course, love it when I have it, and I never take it for granted. I'm so appreciative that I am in a place where I figured out a way where I am properly resting and not just thinking about what needs to be done in my immediate future, or my present or my immediate future. I do purposely set time aside, typically in the evenings after dinner until I go to sleep, or I create that quality time with myself in the in-between moments that I did mention last time of my day that are uninterrupted. Top things I like to do in those in-between moments where it's easy to find my flow, I would say, of fulfilling that me time. Listening to a podcast while I get ready. I listen to music in my car and put a song on repeat literally for 20 minutes because I'm just jamming out so hard. And really anything that can immediately like make my brain focus on what I'm consuming versus what I have to do or where I have to be next. Even if I am doing a task simultaneously. So say I'm like getting ready, doing my hair, doing my makeup, picking out an outfit. If something is on in the background, I'm still consuming that and still feeling very fulfilled with like how I'm engaging with that content. So when it comes to editing a vlog or scripting for the podcast, I also consider that quality time for myself due to feeling really fulfilled creatively. It's very therapeutic, which is what I imagine that will feel like down the line as I develop my career further in the creative production workspace.
Yeah, that's ideal, is for work to not feel like work. So much so that even when you have your own personal alone time, you still sometimes choose to do, quote, work because you just enjoy it that much. Mm-hmm. That's the dream.
It really is. And I'm really trying to make it happen.
Yeah. So my next one is also quality time. I really cherish my me time. This is a very necessary part of my life. Yeah, we touched on this a lot last episode, but it's just such a rewarding feeling to spend thoughtful time alone, just being with me and just having that time to recharge. This can be at home by myself or out in public. Even if I'm out in public around other people, I still consider that quality time because I'm still by myself. I spend my quality time going to yoga, going to the beach, driving along the beach, listening to music, looking at the ocean. I love that. That, especially in quarantine, that was like
your
my
go-to.
Yeah, like, the roads are open. I'm gonna drive on them all day.
Yes.
And that was just very peaceful. Taking the scenic route, if I have somewhere to be, and either you can sit on the freeway for an hour or take side streets for an hour. I prefer the side streets because you get to see more. It makes the time
pass a bit.
Yeah, like just for me, that's more enjoyable than just sitting, inching on the freeway. I enjoy taking the scenic route and seeing a new part of town. If I'm at home doing my nails or having a full head to toe spa day at home, I love those. I feel reborn.
Yeah. New bebe.
Like a brand new, clean, little moisturized
being.
Yes, like every kind of body mask, hair mask, like amazing. And sometimes that really does take all day, but intentionally.
Yes.
And I love that. Yeah, leisurely doing my morning or night routine, doing an art project, catching up on shows I like to watch, either cooking a nice meal or ordering good food and watching the sunset. Love that.
Yep.
I find all of these very enjoyable and comforting, and I really don't feel alone or like I'm all by myself when I do these things. I'm with myself. I'm not by myself. It can be hard to make time for yourself, especially if you have a really busy schedule. So I would recommend writing down a designated time for you to spend quality time with yourself. Even if it's just 30 minutes, stick to it and fill that time doing something meaningful just for you. It really is so important to put yourself first and give yourself a chance to relax, even if you literally have to write it down in your calendar so you won't forget. As long as when you do get to that time, you genuinely use it properly and in a way that benefits you and makes you feel good.
Okay. So my third one is acts of service. So when I did live by myself, cooking a homemade meal, that was my main thing. And now too, I am getting a little picky with my mom. So I do join her from time to time, or I cook for the two of us for either breakfast or lunch, just kind of depending where we meet in the middle or the beginning of the day. So I do like to do that for myself. I feel good. I feel good inside.
Yeah.
Also, too, I do count this as an act of service for myself. Not skipping out on dessert.
No.
Life's too short.
No.
I need
like, that makes me sad that people do that. Obviously for health
reasons.
But
yes.
if it's like you feel bad because you had a cookie, girl, relax. No.
Have the cookie.
Eat it and enjoy it.
Yes.
It's okay.
I will say sugar does activate my acne, but honestly worth it. That is why. That's my next one. Skincare.
There you go.
Skincare is really up there for me with servicing myself, getting serviced.
Yes.
Also with my bi-weekly or even monthly, hygienic maintenance for myself, which is getting my nails done. Gel fill, honey.
You want to plug your girl? Go to
Jamie. Jamie at Harmony Nails. I've been with her. I swear I've known her since I'll just say this. All of the people that I go to for my maintenance, I've had, no lie, since I was probably 12.
Yeah.
11, 12 years old.
That's so cute.
I love it. And you know what? Every time I left the country or the state to be somewhere else, for school.
Yeah.
I ran away.
Just to get out. To run.
Don't think it did not cross my mind. Every time I left for, months at a time for whatever reason, I feel like I was cheating.
Yeah.
And it did not feel okay, especially if the people I did find did good work.
Yeah, you're like, oh no.
No. Like, uh-oh.
My nails look amazing. And you're not Jamie.
Yes. So that actually adds to the experience, is always catching up and seeing, my people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting my facials quarterly, same with my quarterly haircut.
Mm-hmm.
So getting my nails done, my eyebrows threaded, waxing, anything I really need that'll make me feel like tip-top shape.
Yeah. The physical maintenance.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I love the physical acts of service I do for myself. Also in that same-ish category, but more so on like the daily, having a short and extended shower routine that feels just as luxurious,
mm-hmm.
whichever I end up doing. Exercising. I love me a good spin bike moment. Mm-hmm. It's also where I get all my music these days too.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like how we were saying, like not skipping on dessert or like a
mm-hmm.
treat. There's always a balance.
Yeah.
That I think we said something like this in the last episode about finding like a kind of exercise that you enjoy.
Yes.
Because then when you do eat a cake or a pie,
a full 8-slice pie and or cake,
it's your life. Like you don't gotta tell anyone your business. Then you don't know
what I'm going through.
Exactly. Leave people alone. Stop judging. But then you know that you're gonna work out the next day, and it's not you're not just working out because you feel like you need to work off that thing you ate. You're working out because it's something that you love and you get the health benefit. So
Correct.
It's just like this happy balance of you can enjoy the dessert and enjoy the exercise later.
Exactly. And more often than not, how you actually maintain these regimens of good diet, or whatever that looks like and works for you, and exercise, it's all in the mind of like how much you stick with it, when you have breaks from it, when you go back into it. It's all, to me, 90% of that is mental. And then the last 10% is exactly what you do with it, mm-hmm.
physically.
But that's just me. That's mm-hmm. what works for me, because then that provides me that sense of freedom and fluidity of like, okay, we did it.
Yeah.
We did it, now we can eat it.
Exactly. No, I had a time where like
speaking of,
actually
that brought up a moment.
No, I've definitely, like, I'm sure in college, like my diet, may I say our diet?
We did live together for,
oh my gosh,
4 and a couple months, 4 years and a couple months.
But like freshman year, like, oh my gosh, diets were trash. I don't even call it a diet. Like, what were we ingesting?
IHOP.
Literally IHOP.
Appetizer sampler, baby.
So I know, like, at that time, probably my thinking was like, oh, let me work out because I eat trash. It wasn't like, oh, I enjoyed the workout. It's like, no.
Yeah, but we did the like, again, we said it last time, we did our buddy training.
Personal training.
Right. Yeah. Buddy personal training.
Like, hey, friend, I love you. You're always beautiful, but like, we got to get it together. We need to make some changes. You in?
Yeah.
Spring break is around the corner.
We got to go see Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, we got to look cute. And I don't feel good about myself.
And granted, we were tiny. We still were so tiny.
It just
but it felt the inside was...
I felt like IHOP. Like my whole body was like French toast and chicken strips.
With honey mustard.
Oh,
and ranch.
Doused. So, we were young, our bodies could take it, but...
That too. And, okay, yes, that's actually a very good point. As I'm aging... Oh my God.
Like, stuff matters. Food matters. Workouts
I don't think about it. I don't like to think about it.
Let's try to think of it as a gift.
Where are you going with this?
Give me a sec. So, it's a gift to take care of yourself.
Yeah, no, okay, fine, yeah.
Sure, right? Am I convincing it?
Yeah, we get more wisdom and... Honestly, like, we are aging gracefully. I think,
yeah.
thank God. Like, the lack of sunscreen I wore in Arizona and all the IHOP I ate, I'm so happy has not caught up, at least to this very moment in time. We fixed her.
Yeah.
Kinda. We took a little sidestep. Took a little detour.
We're back on track.
We are back on track. Speaking of what I was talking about.
Anyways, what was this? Acts of service.
Yes. My acts of service.
Bring us back.
Right. What I was gonna say too before we went on our fun little tangent. I noticed too, like, all of my acts of service was part of your quality time. And I definitely say, like, this quality time is interchangeable, but I just put all of these specific things in my acts of service just because that's just how it feels predominantly. And sometimes it doesn't always feel like fulfilling quality time, but it's more of the after feeling of like, ooh, yes, complete.
Yeah, you know you're gonna feel good after you do those things.
Exactly. So the process may not be the process may not be the most enjoyable sometimes. Like, main example, and I know you're gonna laugh at this. When we going back to the buddy personal training, when we would exercise, I was miserable during it.
Yes.
But the after, I was like, oh, I'm glowing, I'm floating, and I'm just waltzing right back to the dorms.
Yes, but me, I'd push through and be totally fine during the workout, and then after I'd be like, my God! Like, oh my gosh! Like, I'd let it out after, but be like fine and happy during, and you'd be like irritated during, and then feel amazing after.
Yes, and that's how I still am. Catch me at a Soul Cycle class, like, cursing under my breath and, like, giving the meanest stank face to the instructor, but it's like a stank face of love. Like, keep drilling me, keep being sergeant. Like, yes, like,
because you know you're gonna feel
so incredible after. Yes. So that's kind of why I put all of these things here in acts of service. So another thing I have is going to therapy. Again, sometimes not the most enjoyable thing during it, but after, I'm either in a terrible mood because I'm processing, what it is that we talked about, or I feel amazing because I processed it then. Yeah. But regardless, it's changed my life for the better. I'm a big advocate for it, or anything, truly. Sometimes, I know therapy is not always the most accessible. So I do feel very grateful and lucky that I actually found the therapist I have now, like, in one go. I didn't really have to search. So again, my people, just adding to my people of the maintenance of me.
Yeah, I think of just because I have, like, my car getting fixed on the mind, but
sure.
They put your car up and that
on the
thing
lift
in the air. I picture you as, like, the car, and, like, there's one person under there, like, tweaking this wheel, like, that's your therapist. Like, there's someone over here on the back mirror, like, that's your wax lady. Like, all the people that do your maintenance are on, like, a different part of, like, you as the car.
Yes.
That's what my mind is saying right now.
I love that analogy. I'll be a Maserati.
Ooh, absolutely. What color?
Blue.
Ooh, what kind of blue?
My goal in life is to only drive blue cars. Don't tell me why. I think I just like the consistency.
I like it.
I do too.
We can get matching blue Maserati.
Oh,
fun! We'll add that to the vision board.
Love it. Oh, yes. Okay, I didn't even write this, but I love scrolling through Pinterest because that is where my vision board is. And so anytime I need a little check-in, this is my check-in. Yeah. I go on Pinterest.
Yeah. A visual check-in.
Yes. And to me, that's servicing my brain without even having to come up with the words to, like, reaffirm what I'm trying to make myself feel better about. And also, too, to just kind of keep in check, like, do I want to add anything?
Yeah. Do I still have these goals?
Yeah. And then also, too, just honestly, any action that encourages a balanced and healthy lifestyle or any type of balanced mental health. My greatest strength, I would say, is efficiency without losing the quality of whatever it is I'm doing, in order to prep myself by doing tasks that can be done ahead of time rather than right before, where I have to be somewhere and then I'd have to rush. Or my biggest hack, because I pay my nails with cash, because you get a discount if you do that. I always, and my mom actually taught me this very recently, I always get cash out after I get my nails done, so that way the next time I have it, or next time I go in, I already have it ready to go.
Oh, like after you've paid for that appointment?
Correct.
Just get your cash
right after.
Mm-hmm. That's smart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for me, acts of service is also my third love language. Usually I also consider this to be task related. So filling up my gas the day before, if I know I'm going to be driving a lot the next day, cleaning, making my bed before I leave so I know it'll be nice when I get home, going to sleep early when I need it, doing things that will help me in the future or save me time in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that makes things easier for future me. And I relate acts of service to words of affirmation. I consider this to be the action after listening to what I need.
Yeah, so I'll say my honorable mentions with myself because I did kind of explain each category, even if it wasn't my top 3. My last 2 are receiving gifts and then physical touch. So with receiving gifts, I love shopping for things that I know that I'll have for years. Stuff like that, or, discovering new makeup or skincare that really works for me, or accessories. I'm a big accessories person. I get that from my mom. Mm-hmm. We love investing in stuff like that. And we find those really special pieces that align with how I want to express myself. I really find it satisfying when I do shop for myself.
Yeah, I didn't consider, I don't know, I just did my top 3 for me, but receiving gifts, or I guess giving gifts to myself, absolutely. That might be my number 1. Without even...
We may need to rework this.
Yeah, I'm like, actually, I do that daily.
I was going to say, every time I come in, you're like, oh, we got to go pick up a package. And I was like, okay.
What'd you get? That's true. I guess, I didn't consider it a love language so much, but just like...
It is.
Just like, I just enjoy doing this.
It's a hobby.
Yeah.
It's part of the acts of service or quality time for yourself.
Yeah.
Picking those items out.
Yeah, but that definitely is a love language that I have with myself. I love buying decor or art, clothes, makeup. Yeah, I go through like shopping phases of like only wanting to buy clothes, only looking at shoes. Now I need now I don't need anything. Now I feel
right. We're
like...
not speaking on a need basis.
Oh no.
It's just on a it's on a gifts love language basis.
Yeah.
All in good fun and all within the budget.
Absolutely. No, nothing crazy. But yeah, I go through different phases of wanting to buy clothes, and then I feel like I've satiated that desire. Now I want to look at Sephora.
I like that word.
Yeah.
Satiated.
Yes. Like,
no, for sure. I also consider like the whole receiving gifts on the lower end, only because I generally do this when I feel like I'm reaching a milestone or I'm going through something. Not going through something, but yay, you finished therapy without crying. Let's buy some new skincare.
Why not?
I have done that.
Good.
No, or just like, okay, I've had a pretty successful, productive week. I really want to treat myself to this one product or item that I've really been having my eye on. So that's when it usually happens.
You don't need to validate shopping for me. It's a Tuesday. Go do it. Buy it.
Okay. The category is
friendship.
Love playing Quedge with friends. No, I love this one because I feel like I'm going to learn what your top things are and like kind of not question myself, but go into my own and be like, am I doing those things for you?
Yeah, no, it will be interesting. Like, oh, that's why she does that. That means she loves me. Like,
Okay, so this is the one that we actually do kind of differ. Our number 1 is the same, but then have a little variety in there. Okay, so my ranking goes quality time being my number 1, acts of service my number 2, and then words of affirmation as number 3. So with quality time being my number 1 with friends, so my main thing in this category is respecting each other's time on this earth. Even if months or years go by, there really is a beauty in being able to pick up where you left off, or just seeing and being in contact with someone every day, like whatever that friendship looks like. similar to how I view quality time with myself, I really don't care how long the interactions are. I'll speak in terms of like our immediate friend group here, who I view as like my chosen family. Whether we're going to a music festival, having a picnic, or going to Disneyland all day, or just, hopping on a quick phone call for 5 minutes, and not necessarily getting fulfilled with how long time was spent on that interaction.
It's about the quality.
It's always about the quality, not the quantity for me. Long interactions are the best, don't get me wrong, but I'm calling out the short moments too. Again, same with these in-between moments. I really appreciate like the short sporadic ones. They really are just as fulfilling as, those long moments for me. Like, for example, like our Taco Tuesday outings, or sometimes Thursdays. They can last up to 2 hours or sometimes 4 hours. It just depends, but I can't pinpoint which has been the best time we've gone, because no matter how long or short they are, they're always just of quality time.
Like the food is amazing, and then we have like 3 hours of car talk in the parking lot after, which is just as amazing.
It's divine.
Yeah.
I have made it a priority in my life to view the time spent with others as something that I genuinely want to experience. Also, too, I will say, like, just friendships in general, I've always had this very good judge of character. I love, random interactions and making new friends and, just having different interactions with people. But part of that category is making sure that quality time is spent with quality interactions.
Yeah, with quality people.
With quality people. We may not see eye to eye, that's okay. That's life. You're not going to get along with everybody. You're not going to have the same energy, the same outlook on life as everybody. Definitely. So it's all about just finding the people who do fit those qualities, those shared qualities.
Yes, so love languages with friends and family. So my first one is also quality time. Like you said, time is so valuable and meaningful. Even the term spending time implies that it's like a currency, the same way you spend money.
Yeah.
It's valuable, and you should spend it wisely and with people that matter to you and that bring something special and lovely to your life.
Do they spark joy? Yeah. Do they not? Get rid of them.
Yep. Absolutely. Simple as that.
Truly.
Yeah, and this goes both ways with how I show my love and how I feel loved. If you are giving me your time and spending your time with me when you could be doing anything else, that makes me feel important and special. And like you said, emphasis on quality time. Does everyone feel fulfilled doing whatever it is you're doing? Is that valuable? Are you making memories? How does that time feel together? And that could be just being in someone's presence. I don't always feel like I need to be doing something big or talking a lot. Just being comfortable in silence can also be quality time. You're still bonding. You're still together.
That's how I know a friendship is real. If we can sit in silence, that honey,
means I love you a lot. Yeah, you can feel when it's like silence because you just don't feel like talking and you're like, I don't really vibe with this person, or it's silence because I don't have anything to say at this very moment. Yeah. But when I have a thought, I'll say it. In the meantime, I'm loving just looking at you, looking out the window.
And enjoying your presence. I feel that. I love that one.
Yeah, so it could be something small like that, or it could be spending 14 hours together at Disneyland. Yeah. That is also quality time and just as meaningful, and we've done both a plethora of times.
Dare I say we are professionals.
Oh yes. And that's also how you know when you get along with someone, is when you can spend 12 plus hours together doing anything.
Yeah, I would say, like, if you're not a Disneyland goer, then like a day at the beach.
Yeah, or a road trip.
Yeah.
You'll find out if you want to strangle someone or not.
Yeah.
And you could still be friends, still be family. Just know that you don't want a road trip together ever again. That's okay.
Yeah, I'll say it also does depend on the activity. You may not enjoy doing the activity together. For instance. And this is just a me thing.
Yeah.
I enjoy a flat hike, but
so a walk, a stroll.
I love a good stroll around the neighborhood. But yeah, like a very hilly hill hike.
Those hilly hills.
It is just not my jam, and it's really just my trust issues with like uneven ground. Because I've just had many instances where I've fallen and actually like hurt myself. So it's just been too many times. And look, I'm working on it. Okay.
I'm like, who hurt you? What hilly hill hurt you?
The ground. Runyon Canyon.
She's a doozy.
She is a doozy.
Depending on what path.
Yeah. And so I know like you and our friend Johnny will go on the hike, and then me and our other friend Alec will then come in for the picnic afterwards when you guys are done.
Love it. I love that dynamic, honestly.
Yeah, so
everyone's happy.
Yes, we're doing exactly what we each want to be doing, and we get that one-on-one quality time with the other people, and then come together, at the end. And it's wonderful. So even just figuring out split time like that and then coming together for another shared activity is so fun.
Yeah.
But I do hike, okay? Like I'm not a hike hater.
We're not a hike hater over here. A hilly hike hater.
I love the nature, I really do. But I'll just stick with my stationary bike.
Yeah, it's fine. Hiking's not for everyone.
It's not.
Like, I don't take it personally.
Okay, thanks.
At all. I'm not the land. I'm not the ground that you have issues with.
That's true. So my next one is acts of service. So making the effort, even if it feels effortless, carving out that time to hang out, making the plan and not flaking out without, a valid excuse.
Yeah.
Driving me.
Yeah, offering to drive.
Yeah. Being my Uber.
At my beck and call.
Thanks. Showing up to milestone events, honestly, just being a support system, whether that's, time away or time with.
Yeah.
That to me is like the main parts of acts of service that I can think of that I really, really appreciate. So my next one is words of affirmation. So listening and respecting what I say, my feelings, and vice versa. You're always going to get all of these things that I mentioned back from me. Always feeling a sense of emotional safety with whatever I or you say to me. Nothing is off the table with expressing ourselves and how we communicate. We always say, at least in our friend group, I trust you guys with my life. Like I can say I've said that countless times to our friends. And that's something I really don't take lightly, because at the end of the day, no matter the decisions I make or how down I feel about myself, I know I have the support system that will always listen and tell me their opinions when I need them and when I need that immediate relief as well.
Also, something I love about us and our friends is that we know how to keep each other accountable.
Yes.
In the most loving way.
So respectful.
It's never in like a put down kind of way. It's always like, I'm going to tell you this because I know you can handle it, and I know that I want to help you.
Yeah, it's never coming from a malicious place.
Ever.
Or judgy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's we know we don't just let each other like make bad decisions and keep doing it over and over. And we know how to help each other and how to communicate like, hey, let's make a change together. I'll be there with you. How do you feel about not doing that ever again?
Or maybe think of something like this.
Yeah, a new way of looking at a situation, things like that. I think that we're all really good at that, and we know like for each person how to word things so that it's received well and comes from a caring place always.
Also too, just knowing either in so many words or no words at all, just always having that underlying feeling that the appreciation is there. Like, I appreciate that you're my friend. I know you appreciate that I'm your friend, and that we're choosing each other to live this life with. And I'd say that that's for every category, honestly.
Yeah.
With every type of relationship.
Yeah, when it comes to friends, at least like our immediate people, I think we're all pretty much like small circle types. Kind of people. And so it's like that mutual understanding of like, I don't spend my time with a lot of people. Like, you know I love you.
Yes.
I have 3 friends and you're one of them.
And I appreciate it. And I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And then I'll just kind of quickly add my honorable mentions. My last 2 then would be physical touch and then receiving gifts. So with physical touch, I'm not a very touchy-feely person with platonic people or even with family. Just...
You're like, no. Like, we can love each other from across the room.
6 feet apart, baby. No. No, I love a good hug. For a long time, I was not a huge hugger. You actually got this out of me by force.
I am proud of that.
I know.
Like, yeah.
And we'll get into that with you in a moment. So I have embraced hugging with friends.
There you go. I could feel the resistance saying that. You're like, I guess I gotta like it, tolerate it.
All in good fun, appropriate, obviously.
Yeah.
And then, my last one is receiving gifts and giving gifts. For me, this is a thoughtful item that, relates to an inside joke, a mutual interest that we have. No matter how big or how small the price, because it's coming from someone that I love, it'll always be a very meaningful gift, even if it's a gift card. In fact, I love gift cards. Yeah. Stick with the gift cards.
Yeah.
Because I will always end up picking what I like. But I do, however, with the gift card, I do still love a card, like an actual physical card. Handwritten. I really do pride myself in picking out really cool cards for people.
Yes. No, I agree. I think I've kept...
It's so personal.
I think I've kept every card I've ever been given. I love
Same.
that too. I'm just giggling because I'm thinking about some of the cards you've given me. And while, yes, you do give very nice cards, a few years ago, you gave me a card and, like, we're close enough that, like, I got the joke. But,
okay.
Like, you, the morning of, we were already together because it was, like, we stayed at an Airbnb and then you, like, I was sitting there and you're like, wait, let me give you your card. And you, like, whipped it out and wrote something in it and, like, handed it to me, like, in front of me. And you just wrote, like... Love Alyssa, like the note. It was already like printed on the card, and you just wrote like cheers. And I'm like, thanks.
But then there was another year that has to have come after that one, where I drew a cute little drawing of the two of us with a big old heart in the back. My bad.
That was just funny though. I'm like, thanks.
This is before like the inner work of myself happened.
It was funny though because it's us. I'm not mad. I'm just saying it was funny. Like right in front of me, like, oh, hold on, and like scribble. Happy birthday. Like,
cheers, cheers, matey.
Like beautiful. I'm tearing up.
Like so sentimental,
so heartfelt.
Toss the card in the back.
Yeah, put it in the recycle. No, I still
like you scratch it out and you use it for somebody else.
Like there's nothing written in here.
Oh, that's so funny. Call me out. See, we hold each other accountable. That's so funny.
No, but like cards that you've given me for like graduation or like all kinds of things.
Yes.
I love them and I keep all of them.
Same with me. I love receiving cards and I love giving cards. Like if I get a card, I'm keeping it forever.
Yeah.
Even little Christmas tags. Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? That's adorable.
Yeah. So my next one for friends and family is words of affirmation. I love telling my friends and family that I love them or how much they mean to me. And that's not always by literally using the words I love you, but that love can be communicated in other words and in other ways. I want them to feel loved. You can't always be in person with all of your friends and all of your family, so words of affirmation, that's very important, especially when you can't be there in person or you live in different places. It's nice to have that verbal reassurance that someone is thinking of you. Mm-hmm. And then my third one is physical touch. On the other hand, unlike Alyssa, I am a hugger. At least for friends at the start and the end of the hangout. I'm not like, I don't need to like hug the whole time we're together.
Can you imagine at Disneyland we're just in an embrace?
We walk like same foot, like still just in a hug.
Just shuffling along.
No, just the start, it's nice to like break, not that there's like ice to break with friends, but just like, the initial greeting and then when you're leaving, I need a hug. I need my big old hugs. I will literally stand there with my arms open until you hug me.
You do.
Because that's just, I don't know anything else. Like, it seems so weird to like meet up with a friend and like just like sit down. Like, Hug. Act like you know each other. Come on. To me, that's that perfect level of intimacy with friends and with family. And hugs just feel good. It's nothing like a good hug.
I like your hugs. But again, you taught me to like them.
Taught/forced. You're like, if she's staying, I think I need to learn to hug.
Coerced. Wave a bag of hot Cheetos and be like, come to mama.
If you hug me, I'll feed you.
Yeah, no, you do give really good hugs.
Thank you.
And sometimes too, I can sense your anticipation of like, you better not walk out that door without hugging your wife.
Yeah, like, where do you think you're going? Like, hello, you're going to leave my place without hugging me goodbye? Rude. The disrespect.
The shame. The shame. Oh my God. I feel that. Okay, so moving on to our love languages with romantic partners. The whole reason why we're here. This whole quiz was created based on this particular type of relationship. So my top 3, number 1 being quality time, and then my second one, physical touch, and then third one, words of affirmation. So with number 1 being quality time with a romantic partner, I view this as, very similar as to the friends and with myself. This is where we get to be together without any interruptions or distractions. Also, as soon as you do know when you can't hang out, letting me know and not waiting until the very last second.
Yeah.
Also, being comfortable talking about anything and everything without feeling dumb or judged. I feel like being a woman, we get told by society you gotta be a certain way, talk a certain way, walk a certain way, dress a certain way, and men always have to judge if, that's who you're into. Men always have to judge, oh, I don't like when she wears makeup, or I like when she wears makeup, or, that dress is, not revealing enough. Whatever.
Too revealing,
or
not
too
revealing.
Yeah, like there's always something to be judged or feel down on because you decide to express yourself in a particular kind of way. So long as I'm not feeling judged or feeling dumb for the decisions that I'm making in terms of how I want to dress and express myself, that's very high up there. My main, getting into the nitty-gritty of what romance means to me is always feeling free to express yourself in a romantic way by unapologetically appreciating each other in that time spent together. So no matter how long or short, talking on the phone, being in a group setting, a one-on-one date night, that to me is so, just so valuable. It's just knowing that appreciation of spending that time together is there. And that to me is very romantic. That to me is the most romantic thing you can do that isn't a grand gesture, that can be achieved every time you're interacting with this person. If there are moments that go by where there may be separation, making it a point to map out when to drop in and see each other, even if it's just for a couple of hours in a day in that time span. So just making the effort to keep up with one another during that time apart, which to me, if you're really in it with the right person, it should feel effortless.
Yeah, and you should want to.
Yeah. Just knowing how to have quality time together when not together. The trust, the love, and commitment is already there. So this is just the action part of expressing it for me. Okay, so my next one is physical touch. This is a very specific example, but I guess trying to just encompass the theme of how this feels to me.
Close your eyes, take yourself to this place.
Setting the scene, setting the tone.
Paint us a picture.
There's just something about sitting on my partner's lap and or just my legs draped over them, canoodling in a corner of a party or a crowded bar area where it's just really, that just ups the romance for me. Just being in that very intimate position of just canoodling. To me, it really just ups the romance for me, just being in that particular position. Doesn't have to be for too long because I don't want to numb your legs.
Stand up and fall over.
Yes, but in terms of the physical touch, it's just we're on each other. And I'm ooh, yes, intimate in a public setting that doesn't feel too aggressive. I really can't quite pinpoint what it is, but if our arms are wrapped around each other and I'm sitting in your lap and we're whispering sweet nothings or talking about anything, what our surroundings are, funny, deep, surface level, it really doesn't matter. I'm falling in love immediately in that position, or just all over again, if I already was in love.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just something so intimate being in that kind of position in public and or private. To me, it's not necessarily sexual, but rather just the physical representation of feeling safe, I think is what I associate this specific type of physical touch moment to be. And then in general, I like to be handsy, and I like my partner to be handsy with me, especially when I reach that full level of comfort. Even a look across the room. I know this isn't actually touching, but like even a look across the room can make me feel like your arms are just lovingly wrapped around me. Also knowing when not to touch. And hearing my consent out and not taking it personally if I need that moment to not be touched. It is rare and far and few between. Because I am a very romantically touchy person, physical touchy person. But yeah, those moments of where I'm just like, it's either that time of the month or I don't want you to wrap your arms around my tummy because I just ate. It does happen for me, but I've also just learned to embrace those moments too, so I can actually just feel more comfortable within myself.
Yeah. It's so funny because, I guess not funny, but I think it's interesting to hear you talk about romance. Like, you're such a romantic person, but I feel like you don't come off that way.
I do not.
But I know that you are.
Yeah.
Like, romance novel, like, Hallmark movie kind of love.
But I hate reading and watching romance novels and Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
Like, I despise them.
But it's just funny, like, hearing you list all that out. I'm like, yeah.
That's
100%. Me. Like, I know that, like, you love that.
I really do. And I'd rather live it than read it or watch it.
Yeah, of course. That's ideal.
Yeah. Like, to me, reading about it or watching it, it doesn't give me... And here's the thing. I have trust issues with rom-coms and romance novels.
Yeah.
I know, like, you know, we each have our niches with what we like in terms of media and what we like to consume. But, yeah, rom-coms, romance novels, just not my jam unless it's, like, a classic. Or, like, if it's something I, too, have experienced that feels realistic.
Yeah.
So actually living it, that is where I get my feel.
Yeah. I don't like rom-coms usually just because, one, they're all exactly the same.
Yep.
And... they're just not realistic, and the way that they always play out to me isn't romantic or like a love story. It's just like weird and like
stalkery,
misogynistic usually, and like just I don't know. I just don't like them. I'm like I didn't feel loving and hearts flying at the end. I'm like, why did I just watch that? Like I hated that.
Yeah, unless there's like a supernatural element where it's really just not reality at all. It's easier for me to consume.
If they're not aliens in space, I don't feel it.
Or vampires.
Like humans, I'm bored.
Yep.
Spice it up.
Like, teach me about otherworldly types of romance.
Yeah. How do aliens fall in love?
Beep boop. Beep boop. So yeah. But yeah, it is funny that I'm such a romantic person, like to my core.
Yeah.
But you would never know.
No, you're squishy on the inside.
I really am. And then my last one of my top 3 words of affirmation. So I do love being complimented. However, I am still working on taking compliments without questioning it or just trying to justify it. One of my goals this year, or at least in my next year of being 27, to accomplish is being able to take a compliment, say thank you, and move on.
Yeah.
Or returning it back. I've had a history of being like, okay.
Running away.
Yeah, scurrying. Literally scurrying from the compliment. But not anymore. I'm embracing it. Also, too, again, same as with friends and family, this kind of is all under the same umbrella of being listened to, feeling respected and accepted with how I communicate about my passions, my feelings, my thoughts, just anything. Because, again, my partner's going to get that right back. I view words of affirmation as a confirmation of what I already feel and know about myself, especially in a romantic sense. Do I need it? No. Because I could give it to myself. And that's why this is number 1 for my love languages for myself. But for this, in this sense, it is more of a bonus validation versus like the actual validation or confirmation with how I dominantly treat and view myself when it comes to a partner doing it. And then my 2 bonus ones. it would be then after that is acts of service, and then receiving gifts. To me, chivalry is not dead. No, ma'am. This is all, and again, this is all reciprocated. You know, picking me up from the airport, you know, driving, being my Uber.
You just want people to drive you everywhere.
Because I do it too.
Yeah.
Like, it's always returned.
No, yeah.
Anything under that umbrella of just like being very thoughtful, just that thoughtful act. Same thing that I would do for myself, prepping things beforehand if needed so that the efficiency is in our favor for our time spent together, or, you know, if doing them together would be beneficial because that just means more time together. And then with receiving gifts, same umbrella. A thoughtful gift, it's because it reminds them of
you.
Yes.
Who's being reminded.
Right. Or it's because, again, the thoughtfulness. They remember it's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Or I specifically say I want this particular item and they don't waver from it at all.
Yeah.
It's like they get the exact thing. It's like, great, you listened.
Yeah.
Paying for dinner, drinks out, you know, surprise tickets to an enjoyable activity, like all of those things. I like being thoughtful and I like being thought of.
Yeah. We all deserve that.
Yes.
So now for me, when it comes to romantic relationships, my number one is quality time. Same as it was for friends and family. Time is so valuable. Schedules are busy. It's so much easier to just stay home. And making an effort does not go unnoticed.
Yep.
Effort is one of the most attractive things about a person.
Yes.
Truly. And how can you get to know someone if you don't spend time together? Being in person is different than just talking online, or, you know, getting along over text doesn't mean you'll get along with someone in person. That's with any kind of dynamic. So yeah, you do need that in-person quality time to get to know someone. Next is words of affirmation. These kind of are neck and neck again for me.
Yeah, all intertwined.
Yeah. I can't read someone's mind, so to hear how someone feels about me brings me extra comfort. No one should have to guess how someone feels about them. So just being told flat out, it just saves a lot of time and energy. And this goes along with communication, not just expressing feelings verbally, but just all communication with this person. Knowing how to apologize, knowing how to be honest, trusting what the other person tells you. This all falls under words of affirmation for me. Words are very vulnerable and very powerful. I'm a quality over quantity kind of person when it comes to talking. I don't always have a lot to say, but I mean everything that I say, and my words are very meaningful to me, even if I use them sparingly. Or I guess that is why I use them sparingly, because I don't always, if I don't mean it or it's not important to me, I'm not going to say it.
Right.
So if I'm comfortable enough to open up and share vulnerable thoughts and emotions with someone, then I know that I really trust them, and I feel that they will cherish what I'm saying and appreciate what I'm saying. To me, words are like gifts, and I know that that person will hold on to my words and care for this gift that I'm giving them. I'm giving you something sacred, and I trust that you'll keep it safe, and vice versa. Yeah, I feel the same way when someone else shares their thoughts and feelings with me. Words hold a lot of weight, and I hold the other person's words to the same standard as I do for my own, and I consider them to be just as meaningful and cherished on my end. I guess kind of a side note, but it relates to words of affirmation, remembering things.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Especially like something from a long time ago that I just said in passing and someone brings that up again. How nice. How sweet. Or like references something that I like, oh, I forgot I even told you that, and you remember it. Like, that's very special. And that's the same with friends or family or anyone really. Just knowing that I told you something and you retained it.
Yep.
I love that.
I do too.
And then my third one is physical touch. And for me, this is like sweet, playful kind of touch. Kind of like you mentioned, like sitting close to each other, putting my head on a shoulder. These kind of things that aren't always obvious ways of touching, or like little things that other people might not notice. makes it feel like a little secret.
So subtle and so intimate.
Yeah, like hands under the table, or like little things.
Hand on a knee.
Yeah, like things that other people can't see, but like just anything while you're talking, and like hand on the shoulder, or like hair behind the ear being moved.
Little touch on the back.
Like something like those very like, a friend wouldn't do that.
Unless you're that close, and that works for the two of you, but... Yeah, it's alluding to romance.
Yeah, it's just nice. It's like, ooh.
Yeah. And that wraps that up. I love languages. Yeah. I loved it. I feel like I always learn a little something.
Yeah.
About you and about our friendship and about our tastes in all of these things.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think yours have changed over time, or do you think they will change?
I feel like, so the very first time I took this quiz, I think with myself, I've changed. So like words of affirmation, I feel like was like last. Mm-hmm. And now it's like my number one. But that's only because of, growing up.
Yeah.
You start to prioritize different things. You go through different things that make you feel like she should, get worked on a little bit, which means we're going to prioritize quality time with yourself, and then, speak kindly, and then, so on and so forth. The list goes on. But I think just as a whole, I feel like change is the most consistent thing going on in the world and going on with yourself. That, I'm not married to these rankings for myself, but they are pretty consistent. And to me, it's a nice guide. And nonetheless, like each category has their own definition and my own like little favorites of each thing. So I feel like what it encompasses in each category may not change, but the ranking could. Just depending on the situation, time of my life, the seasons change, and so I may too.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think they can change and adjust over time. Your needs change, your priorities change. And maybe you haven't experienced one of these love languages to the fullest, so you don't even know that that actually would be your number one, or that your ranking would change until you actually experience it. Or the order, might be different for different people in your life.
Yeah.
Love languages can help you understand the people in your life better and help others close to you understand you better.
Definitely.
They're all an example of how different we can all be. They show us how many ways there are to express, give, and receive love. Everyone sees the world in different ways and communicates and interprets things differently. So if anything, hopefully love languages can be a way to help us understand people more, and can overall be a reminder to have patience and compassion in our relationships, because we're all different.
Also knowing that, knowing how to fulfill somebody's love language, and, they may not know how to fulfill yours. It doesn't mean that they still don't love or care about you. I think that's an important point to mention to kind of really wrap this all up. Yeah. Like, just because you may not be fulfilling their needs or vice versa doesn't mean that they still don't care. Yeah. And that's when, that communication comes in, and you're like, hey, I kind of like this.
Yeah.
I know you like what you do, but let's try what I like.
Yeah, switch it up.
Yeah.
add things to the mix. Try a different one, see if you like it.
Yeah, I love variety, that too. Hence why I've grown to accept the hugging.
Yay. I'll give you one right now, sister.
Okay. So that's so that just wraps about... We're done. Bye-bye. See you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Alyssa and Jackie out. Thoughtful because it is a thoughtful
the thoughtful thoughts of thinking.
That's a good one.
I may write a book called The Thoughtful Thoughts of Thinking.
She thunk.
She don't thunk.
She got a thunk.
I think thunk.
I think thunk. No. I lost it.
Anyway.